Hey, we're here in downtown Houma with Father Alex Gaudet, administrator of St. Anne in Berg. Welcome, Father.
Thank you.
Thanks for spending some time with us.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, maybe the schools you went to?
Well, I am a Bayou boy. I grew up 100 or so yards away from Bayou Lafourche. It's a very different bayou than Bayou Terrebonne, but I grew up on the bayous, but I grew up in the suburb of the bayou. So everything people presume with like Cajun people is like going hunting, four-wheel riding. Like that's not what I did as a child. I stayed in to like watch TV and go visit my relatives on the weekends, and that was pretty much the extent of it. So I grew up in Thibodaux. I went to Thibodaux Elementary. I went to South Thibodaux. I went to East Thibodaux. And then I went to graduated from Thibodaux High in 2006. Looking forward to being a computer programmer with a concentration in video game design. And in the middle of that, God said, that's not what I want you to do. God says to me, I want you to go and I want you to lead my church. I want you to lead people to Christ. And so I leave UL in Lafayette, where I was studying computers, and I come home here, and surprise, surprise, you can't get into seminary in 2 weeks. So I went to Nichols for a year in their unknown to them pre-seminary program, and really got to enjoy, made some great relationships, ran into some wonderful people, met a wonderful man by the name of Rock Gurnan. I met all these wonderful people in that year. Nichols was a great place for me, but God was calling me to the seminary. God was calling me back to give to other people what He had given to me when I had my first conversion experience during the tech retreat.
Thank you for sharing that. Hey, I hear you're quite the Sudoku player.
Okay. Not so much anymore.
No?
No. Actually, now that you mention it, I played Sudoku a lot more when it was readily available to me. Like when I was at a place that had the newspaper coming in. So when I was assigned to St. Francis, we had the newspaper every day, and so I do it every day. I found I had gotten pretty good at it. It only took me like a half hour instead of 4 hours to complete a 5-star, and I was getting pretty prominent at it. But like I haven't done that in like 2 years now, just because it's not right in front of me.
Pedro?
Yes, I am a novice Pedro player. I am not a cutthroat player. That bugs me because that's not the way majority of card games are played. I know I made a lot of enemies by saying that, but personally, I'm just not being able to do whatever you want. Like there needs to be rules, because the more rules there are, the more somebody who thinks a lot like me can do it. Can get a small advantage. I know I also just made a bunch of enemies by like saying, hey, I think a lot, but that's not.
You gotta be who you are, man. What do you do on your day off?
Personally, I like to sleep in. I'm not a morning person, and so any day where I don't have to get up at 6 in the morning, I just don't. Then when there's a good movie out, I'll go watch that. I'm not a huge drama fan. I'm not a huge romance fan, but Marvel is really doing well right now. So action, comedy, those kinds of things. When there's a movie that piques my interest, I'll go do that. Then I'll read, maybe watch some TV. I don't do a whole lot on my day off, just because doing nothing seems to be is just much more relaxing for me.
With you, totally. Favorite thing about being a priest?
I think my favorite thing about being a priest, by far, is the honor and the beauty of what I experience in the sacrament of reconciliation. I know most priests would probably say the Eucharist, and the Eucharist is fantastic, don't get me wrong, but the privileged place you get to have in people's lives during the sacrament of reconciliation is really profound. It's something I respect greatly, because it's something, sacrament of reconciliation has been very profound in my life in helping me address my own challenges, and to be there be somebody privileged to witness a conversation that's really not between me and this other person, but between that other person and Jesus, and I'm just a bystander because Jesus wants feet on the ground now, and so He needs somebody to be there to hear those words and to give the words of absolution. But it's really a conversation between the sinner coming to Christ for forgiveness and the Savior of all offering that mercy to the person begging for forgiveness.
Thank you. Thank you for your priesthood, Father. Thank you for spending some time with us.